Remember this dresser from a few weeks ago? And I asked, did I ruin it? Stay tuned and find out. So I had put the image on using the Paint Inlay, and I didn't get a really good crisp image. I got it darker on one side, so I was trying to decide what to do with it. So my next step, regardless of my next step, was to seal it. I had to spray it because whatever I would do, water would reactivate that inlay because it's paint. So water-based paint would reactivate it and smear it. So I wanted to make sure that I got it sealed. So what I decided to do was to color it in. Now my friend Taryn from Elegant Upgrades does the Bob Ross style murals on the front of dressers, and I wish I could do that. And maybe someday I will be able to do that. But for now, I'm just using some watercolor pens, and I start to color in my design. It's kind of like a big coloring book. Now, I mentioned that I started with those pens, but I didn't really finish with those pens. My grandkids had used them, so I think they were drying up and a little bit smushed. So I think some new watercolor pens are in order. Important phone call. My husband was probably traveling, and when he travels, I try to take his calls no matter what I'm doing. I kept referring to the package back from the inlays just so I make sure I'm keeping straight with my design. So I started using some of the chalk paint colors. So I'm using cotton, and I'm going in and I'm defining those cloud areas. Cotton, I think, was a perfect choice of color. I'm also using the mister to keep it soft because I do kind of want to go for a watercolor look here. So I come in with, I think it's dusty blue, and just kind of painting in the blue part of the sky. And I want to blend those edges just because they're clouds, and I want it to look all fluffy and blended. Next, I take some holy guacamole and vintage duck egg and work on the water part. You know how sometimes water has a greenish look to it, especially when it's in a wooded area. So I kind of want to make sure that I get that greenish look rather than just going for blue for the water. So I kind of work with the water and I blend those two together to get that look I'm going for. Next, I take palmetto and kudzu, two greens, and I want to come back in and define those trees that I started to do with the markers. I just kind of use the same brush and just kind of mix those two together to give some depth into the trees. Lastly, it needed some more brown, both on the cow and in areas that were the ground. So I used pine cone and burlap to achieve this. remember all the trouble I had with the big crack in the top? So I am using a mixture of the sawmill gravy and sea spray. Not really mixing it up real well, just kind of put some of the powder in a cup and just keep pouring paint in. So I'm just pouncing all over the top of this with the best dang brush. It's a really big brush and it's a natural bristle. So I'm going to get all that yummy texture that I'm going for. And when I'm done, no one's ever going to know there was a split in the top that was repaired. So when you have those texture issues and you've done all that you can do or all that you want to do, then just use texture to disguise it and just work it. Use it to the best of your ability. Make it your ally. So I meant to do that, right? That's what we're going for. After I get that frame covered, then I come back in with some brown wax. I'm using some older brown wax. I have this tin that's almost empty and I just keep going back to it, and I think I'm finishing it up on this project. But I'm just kind of going after this picture part. I kind of want it to look like an old photo. So I'm using brown wax. I did not use clear wax first. If I was using a newer tin of wax, I would have done that. And the reason why this particular wax, it was before they changed the formula, so it was a little more pigmented and a little more on the waxy side. So sometimes I'll use it without using a clear wax first. Because this is chalk paint, it's really porous, and if I hadn't used that really waxy wax or a clear wax before it, that dark wax would just grab onto it in a way that I would not be able to control as well. So here's how that ended up, and I may keep working on it and darkening it, but I'm also using some Dixie dirt, and I'm mixing it in with my wax now, and I'm going for those grooves along the side, and I'm going to continue this on the whole detail of the piece. That looks really dark, but I'm working it in all those grooves, and then I'm going to come back with a cloth and wipe it back, and then I'll get back some of that pretty sawmill gravy color. Don't forget, channel membership is only 99 cents a month. You can help me decide what's going to go on Tuesday Talk. Give me your ideas. You'll get access to a special Facebook group where we can share our ideas, exclusive content, and some fun emojis. Thanks so much for watching today. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And if you haven't subscribed, you want to make sure that you hit that button and also the notification bell so you won't miss anything. Visit us at lavintagedecor.company. On Instagram, we're LaVintage Decor, and on Facebook, LaVintage Decor Altoona. Stay well.